What's up, everybody? This is Dean on the Movie Man. I'm Dan Sasala.
And I'm Nate Thomas, and this is our review for Uncle Drew.
So, Uncle Drew has been out for about a week and a half now, so even though this review is a little late, it was suggested by one of our loyal friends, so thank you for the suggestion, and this video goes out to you.
So this movie is basically just about this one guy who loses his entire team for street basketball and then finds Uncle Drew and asks him if he can join the team and start a new team. And Uncle Drew just basically requests to have all of his old buddies be on the team, and then he will therefore play for this guy.
Yeah, and so the first thing that you guys need to know about this film is that it's basically your classic movie where there's two teams, one's a bunch of disadvantaged old or something weird group against like a very stacked team with a super cocky coach who thinks he's gonna win, and guess what happens in the end? You guys can figure it out. It's one of those classic movies. There is basically nothing more special to it other than that it's a retelling of a story that we've seen many times before. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. And if you don't know already, Uncle Drew, like the character played by Kyrie Irving, has been out for at least 2 years now. At least 2 years. He's just been on YouTube as Uncle Drew, going to random street courts and just schooling him as an old guy. That's pretty much it. So that's where like the
origin of Uncle Drew started.
Yeah, exactly.
And so when this is hands down a comedy movie. There's no arguing there. And I found this movie very funny. There's a lot of basketball jokes, but there's a lot of not so much inappropriate jokes. Like there's a couple of those in there, but overall it's a pretty clean movie as far as sexual jokes, cussing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's like a family-friendly movie to an extent. Like I would say like 12 and above.
12 and up.
12 and up, it's fine. But what do you think about the movie in general?
The movie in general, I thought I came out of this movie smiling. I definitely had a positive experience coming out of this movie. It was basically everything what I expected from the film. I thought it was going to be not quite as funny. I was expecting more of a grown-ups type movie, but it had that same type of feeling with a lot of people coming together and just making funny scenes, stuff like that. But I found this movie to be more, I wouldn't say less, a little bit more clustered than a grown-ups movie, whereas a grown-ups movie kind of had it flowed better than this movie does. For me, it was more of okay, like, we have to go here, then we have to go here, then we have to go here, we have to go here. Get these people. So like the second act in this movie was kind of slow for me at times, but yet again there was a lot of humor mixed in there, so you are thoroughly entertained, or at least are still laughing continuously throughout the movie.
Yeah, I would definitely say you had a better experience like during the movie than I did. I still liked the movie. I thought it did make me laugh. Some humor hit, some humor didn't, and there were some characters that just did like who were supposed to be in there for comedic relief who didn't really make me laugh at all. So I don't know. I just feel like it didn't really meet my expectations. I guess I would say.
Definitely. So we have one of the standout performances that we both think is definitely a standout performance is Shaq.
Yeah.
Shaq was in Grown Ups 2. That was his big comedic role, I guess, so far in the movie.
Like his outbreaking into the acting industry.
Yeah, definitely. And he was very funny in this, and but you and I both, on the ride home, we both agreed that like we should have, like we wanted more of him, I think.
Yeah, I definitely wanted more of him. I thought based on like the trailers and stuff, he would play a bigger role. Well, I guess he played a big role, but he would be in it more as in like time in the movie. He wasn't really in there. He was, I mean, this isn't really a spoiler. He's the last person to join the team and stuff. So I just thought he was going to be in there a lot more, which would have, I feel, done a lot better with the comedy aspect of the movie. Definitely. So I do wish he was in there more.
Yeah, and like he steals the scenes that he's in, like the basketball scenes, and there's a certain scene when they're in a club. That scene, I think Shaq was the sole reason why that scene was so funny.
He just every scene he's in, it's funny, and I love it.
He's a giant clown. He's a giant teddy bear that they just want to squeeze and love.
Yeah.
You know. But other than that, like other than Shaq's performances, how did the other performances do?
Well, okay, so obviously it's a bunch of NBA and WNBA players, and I guess low-level actors who don't really have huge parts in movies, so the acting wasn't great in it. It's forgivable, though, it's because they're professional athletes and everything, so it's not bad. The acting isn't terrible.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. The acting is definitely not Oscar-worthy by any part, but I wouldn't say it detracted from the film at all. Because of some there was one performance by Aaron Gordon that I didn't care. He literally got paid to dunk a basketball and have 3 or 4 lines maybe. Yeah. But other than that, his performance wasn't that great, even though he had such little lines.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
But the writing of this film I thought was good.
It was good. It was a very cheesy movie. I would say it's very cliche. You know what's gonna happen, especially if you watch a lot of movies. Like you know what's gonna happen. Yeah. It's almost like the structure of a kid movie, but with humor of an adult.
Yes.
Or PG-13 movie.
Yep. And I thought there was a couple storylines with romantic relationships in the past that I thought kind of dubbed the film down a little bit when they weren't necessary. They just offered some tension between characters and stuff like that kind of detracted from the film. You're like, okay, let's just get to the final basketball game, and it was kind of like, okay, what's next kind of movie. So you kind of wanted the movie to just to get to the end because you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
it was one of those kind of movies.
I agree with that. So based on all that, what would you rate this movie?
I would rate this film probably a 3.4. It was definitely an entertaining film. It's one of those movies where you want to watch on a rainy day because you need something to bring joy to your life. It's not the worst comedy movie ever. It's not the best comedy movie ever, but it's definitely somewhere in between, leaning more towards the better side. I think that everyone who goes to see this movie, Uncle Drew, will have a great time, especially if you're a basketball fan. What would you rate this film?
Honestly, I'm gonna rate it a 2.9. Hey. I know it's a little shocking, but I don't know. It just wasn't the funniest movie to me. It wasn't the most outstanding movie to me. It's a very forgettable movie, and honestly, to some, it may not be worth even seeing in theaters. It just depends on how big of a basketball fan you are. If you're a big basketball fan, go see it in theaters. If you're not, then you might want to just wait until it's on on demand or on in the Redbox.
Yeah, definitely. So those are our final thoughts on Uncle Drew. If you guys like this video, please hit that thumbs up button down below. It actually makes a difference. It lets us know that you guys out there like what we do in here. And also, if you guys have seen the movie already because it's been out for a week or two, leave a comment down below on your thoughts on Uncle Drew.
And don't forget to subscribe for more awesome movie reviews.